Welcome to another Baka commentary. In this video will be my analysis / impression of basically the RTX 5090 and the RTX 5080 review, and they have day one stock inventory for quite a lot of USA and the international market. So, the first graphics card that actually people will be likely interested in getting a summary of, the RTX 5080. They did bring more performance for the same TDP, but sadly that is only within AI workload. And for any gaming increase, it relied on the new DLSS 4.0, which is multiple frame generation. And that basically, but if you took away the frame generation, that for every one frame that it generated, the 3 was generated, it was basically as fast as RTX 4090 for every one same TDP and power. Which is why the RTX 5090 increased the TDP to most reviewers found at one extra power percentage that you increased from the 5090 to the 5890 to the 4090, the more performance it became. And however, this also found a new issue of CPU bottleneck. Even if you use the fastest gaming CPU R9 9800X3D and Intel i9 4900K, there is still a CPU bottleneck issue. In guaranteed 1080p and in certain scenario where 1440p, to guarantee no CPU bottleneck, basically you are required to play at 4K. And that is basically the summary of the RTX 5090 review. Now on to the analysis. This is not shocking to me, as 5090 has interconnector for the first time in a lot on die for Nvidia, for what I am aware, which is basically two 103 dies connected together, fused together to make a 102 die, and this is why I think it is the bottleneck, causing the bottleneck. As one, this interconnector simply is unable to keep up with the two of the 103 dies talking to each other in 1080p and 1440p, and in the less intensive thing where a lot more less intensive, where high bandwidth may be required, the 4K, I think that's where the thing interconnect was like, okay, I am less of a bottleneck. Which also makes NVIDIA's multi-chiplet or multi-die variant of their GPU a lot less competent than the competitor RX 7900 XT, the R9 and the R8 R7 X3 XT Radeon GPU. They have managed to able to mitigate this multi-die situation and was resolved pretty good, competent and didn't have any of these NVIDIA interconnector issues. However, if you are for some reason to also be for a reason looking to buy 5090 for 1080p 1440p game, I think it's actually better to buy the older 40 series or go, as it doesn't have some of the CPU bottlenecking issue that actually harms your performance issue in the 1080p and 1440p, which leads perfectly to the other graphics card that the RTX 50 series launches, the RTX 5080. This review can be summed up. It's basically RTX 4080 Super with even faster memory. And result, there is not really a faster performance on the outgoing RTX 4080 Super. This graphics card, again, now analysis on this has resulted in a lot easier for the DIYers to get these graphics card as one, unless, and as most of the people who are likely on the line were waiting for 5090 and they weren't really looking for RTX 3080s, and if they were on 4080s supers and for some reason just looked at a 5080 performance, I personally wouldn't have even bothered continue lining up for it. Unless, of course, you had someone who's like, hey, I'm going to buy the RTX 5080 GPU off of you. As a result of that, the supply chain was able to cope with the launch demand. However, for the MSRP buyers, they were kind of out of luck internationally, and US seemed to be okay-ish, as the MSRP card was from both founders and AIBs were basically able to get to the people who wanted the MSRP card. And as for the people that were willing to pay extra MSRP both for the RTX 5080 Super, again, they seem to be able to satiate that demand. This also caused any retailers that still had RTX 4080 and 4080 Super inventory, they literally raised the price to the RTX 5080 AIB version, as there is legit no performance difference between the RTX 5080 and the RTX 4080 Super. And the RTX 4080, clearly, again, there was no reason for them to do it, as they were the same tier of performance. Overall, the RTX 50 series seems to be outside of USA, seems to cost more even RTX 40 series on launch, and as well as there was never good availability of the MSRP card. For the actual US guys, you wanted to buy the RTX 5090, you needed to buy the lottery system, and if you were for some reason targeting 5080, in USA you were able to buy it with MSRP and maybe slight premium, and you were able to get it day one, or it were really hardcore set on MSRP in US, you were able to get in the same month, get a pre-order for an RTX 5080. As for 5090, you basically, both internationally and US, we all got screwed. Reference MSRP card was basically impossible to get hold of, and we were forced to buy whatever stock is there. Anyway, that brings the end to another Baka commentary. You know, if you like the video, do the typical like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.